somewhere else, but this is where we found ourselves. Welcome to the local show. People you work with, people you know.
Welcome to our season premiere of The Local Show, guys. I'm Erik Skarvan, your host, here with Ladybug, one of my guests today, as we kick off our summer series. I hope you guys are having a great spring, an incredible off-season. It's been beautiful here in Aspen. As we go live here every Tuesday afternoon at 3:30 from GrassRoots Community Network at the Red Brick Center for the Arts. I'm so happy to have a friend back on the show. She's a local singer and songwriter. It's Gabrielle, Louise,
Hi, thanks so
and
much for having me
dog
back.
Ladybug.
And Ladybug, the big TV star.
She's getting her 30 minutes of fame here today, and I hope my dog Marley, who's watching, doesn't get jealous.
Is it too jealous?
Doesn't get jelly. But
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Thanks so much for
great
having
to
me.
see you.
Yeah, totally.
It's been a while.
A couple years went by in a flash.
God, was it? It's like
Yeah.
a couple winters ago, was it? When we had you on the
Maybe
show? And-
2020. Yeah, so more than a few.
Wow, that's
more than
wild.
a few. Yeah.
That's good. Then the whole COVID thing happened. and
Disappeared, evaporated.
we were wearing masks in here with John Oates for one show.
Glad that's over.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. So how are you?
Doing great. Yeah,
Yeah?
really
Things
so
are
happy
good?
that summer's finally arrived.
Oh, it's so pretty,
Getting
isn't
all
it?
my garden planted and my flowers in all my pots and
Oh, my gosh.
yeah, just ready for the season ahead, ready to get outside.
And since you were last here on the local show, you got married
I got married
to
That's
Ryan.
Right.
And tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, Ryan's wonderful. He's in Italy right now studying with some two master luthiers, which are guitar builders,
Oh, cool.
and mastering the art of replicating vintage guitars.
How cool is that?
Yeah, he's having
Because
a
does he have
blast.
like an engineering background or something, or what's his
No,
background?
Woodworking.
Woodworking,
Yep,
okay.
woodworking. And he's also an excellent guitar player. So if he was in
Okay.
town, he would be here playing with me today, but next time.
Shout out to Ryan.
Shout out to Ryan. Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, in Italy. I mean, we could just talk the rest of the show about that alone.
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah. I got to go visit with him for a little while and eat all the pasta and
Oh, man.
come back with a goal of getting some exercise this summer to get rid of the pasta. yeah.
Kind of, yeah, man. Well, that's the thing. It's like Italy, so you eat the great food, you drink the great wine, and then hopefully you go for the great bike rides or go hiking in the Dolomites.
We hiked along the
just got it all.
coast from town to town in this area called Cinque Terre, which means 5 towns.
Awesome.
And just up and down, up and down, up and down. It was all like Stairmaster, you know, but it was so beautiful through these vineyards that kind of overlooked these like turquoise ocean scenes, and
Incredible.
it was amazing. Like all these lemon groves by the ocean. Yeah,
They got
was
it
very
going
cool.
on, and so does Sicily, which actually is a blue zone. It's one of the areas in the world where people live the longest. You know, most centenarians.
That's how they
Although we
define
have
it.
our
Oh,
own
very
Klaus
cool.
Obermeyer, who skied at 104 last winter.
Amazing.
104 years young, but Sicily is one of those blue zones
They've got it
where
figured
they've got
out.
it kind of figured out.
Work-life balance, I think, is what they're really good at.
And they don't
Yeah.
drive. Like they walk
They
and
walk.
bike.
They walk. They
don't-
walk. Ryan's been walking back and forth to the wood shop every day for 3 months. Yep.
So when you play music, you play sometimes solo, sometimes with Ryan.
Yep, that's right. Yeah. And then
And
every
what's-
once in a while, I'll hire like a bassist and a lead guitar player and do more of a band thing, but that's more infrequent. Yeah.
Okay, and you've been writing a lot lately.
I've been writing so much, like nonstop.
How does that, like, do you just go through these, like, spurts where you just have more inspiration, or how does that kind of,
I think
how does that
writing
kinda cycle?
I think writing begets writing. Well,
Yeah.
two things are big factors for me.
Okay.
First of all, as soon as I start, then I'm sort of in the flow, and it's just like, have you ever noticed that you have big periods of time where you take a lot of photos, and then all of a sudden you're
Okay.
seeing the world in compositions?
kind of like when it rains, it pours kind of thing?
Yeah, it's like you get habituated to it, and then the
Yeah.
faucet's on. But
Right.
the other thing that for me really actually two things. Travel, huge.
Yeah.
So I wrote a ton when I was visiting Ryan, because you're seeing all this new stimuli, and your brain's making these new connections.
Right.
Going interesting places if you just be present and follow along. And then the second thing is reading is huge for me. If I'm reading, I'm usually writing. It's like eating food and doing the deeds, It's like you get the process that you're like a little whirlpool and everything's flowing through.
Do you have certain kinds of genres you like? Do you like fiction, or what do you like? Romantic novel? What do you like to read?
I
Or
love,
variety?
and actually maybe the first song I could play could be one that's inspired by what I've been reading this year.
Okay.
But I really love biographies.
Oh. Okay.
I just love it when you're reading about a real human's life and you're like, you know that it's real, so it's even more impressive, and just the tenacity that people have
Right.
and the fortitude that people have. It's always so
Right.
inspiring to me. Like, you know what? I think this thing is hard, but like, look what this other person went through and what they accomplished.
I love
and
that.
so, yeah.
That's really the heart of the local show. Not to be too kind of corny about it, but
Yeah.
we wanted to. It started now over 19 years ago.
Wow,
We're now the
amazing.
longest running local TV show. I think that's just locally. I'm sure that's not nationwide, but who knows?
In the region, yeah.
And I started to have these locals because I had worked for another commercial station, and it started to sell out more and more to like kind of the highest bidder for interviews, for commercials. I'm tossing to like fractional yacht commercials and stuff, net jets and all this stuff. And I'm like, this is getting away from us here.
Yeah.
So I wanted it to be only locals, but then it evolved into inspirational locals like yourselves. We can watch our fellow locals and what they're doing, the
Totally.
success they're having,
Yeah.
the struggles they're having too.
Yeah.
But the success, that to me is the most relevant and the most inspirational, because these are people in our own valley.
Like,
It's
this
not
is your
necessarily going-
neighbor accomplishing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not somebody who's like necessarily like been groomed from day one. It's just somebody that you know, and you're like, if they can, I can.
Like the
Yeah.
average Joe and
Yeah.
Josephine local.
Yeah, I love that,
And
yeah.
if they can do it, and we've had 9 or 10 Olympians on the show. I think 3 or 4 were medalists.
Amazing.
Entrepreneurs, musicians. Like I mentioned earlier, John Oates has been on several times now. People like that in all realms that can inspire and
Totally.
lift us up, sharing their challenges, but how they overcame, how they kept going, like you say, tenacity, resilience, that toughness.
Fortitude.
I find that really inspiring.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
We're going to come back and get to that first song.
Okay.
You're going to give us a little story behind that song.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to our first and only break of the show, guys, here on our season premiere with Gabrielle, Louise, and Ladybug, and 3 live songs. So stay tuned. But we do have to thank our summer underwriters for helping us facilitate our summer series. I got to look at my notes this time. It's Aspen Square, Gonzo Nation, and Windwalkers. We've got Haiti Children, Independence Pass Foundation, Klug Properties, Local Spirits, Paradise Bakery, The Hope Barn, Sundog Athletics, and the Wheeler Opera House. We're going to go to our only break of the show, guys. We'll be back in just over 2 minutes with live music and Gabby, so don't go away. At the Wheeler Opera House, we set the stage for connections that create memories for our audiences, artists, and greater Aspen community. At the Wheeler Opera House, all are welcome. You're welcome to be a part of history.
I'm so passionate about this community. I absolutely love living here and raising my family here. It gives me a lot of pride to share this with my friends and my clients and help them achieve their dreams of owning an Aspen snowmass and enjoying this incredible lifestyle.
Want to live like a local? Help us reduce food waste, a major contributor to climate change.
You can help in 3 simple ways.
Plan menus carefully and only buy what you need.
Collect unused scraps for compost.
Buy ugly fruits and vegetables.
Reduce food waste.
Live like a local.
Brought to you by Paradise Bakery and Gelateria, serving Aspen for 42 years. Providing exceptional service for over 50 years, Aspen Square features studio and larger condominiums for nightly rental with an ideal downtown Aspen location. They offer fully equipped kitchens, wood-burning fireplaces, and private balconies with full hotel-style services and gracious hospitality. Aspen Square is proud to support the local show. Independence Pass Foundation, celebrating 35 years of encouraging stewardship, safety, and appreciation of Independence Pass. Sundog Athletics is your opportunity to experience the thrills of adventure sports, offering mountain and road biking instruction, fitness hiking, and Aspen's exclusive instructional canoeing and e-biking adventures.
Welcome to the local show. People you work with, people you know.
We're back here with our season premiere of the local show. Thanks for sticking around, guys. We've got Ladybug here in my lap. We've got Gabrielle Louise on the couch here, ready for her first song of the show.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you do a little intro, maybe a little story behind what inspired this music.
Yeah, well, we were talking earlier about reading and how I notice I'm writing a lot when I'm reading a lot.
Yeah.
So this year I got really into like this idea of the divine feminine, like where the feminine shows up in divinity.
Oh.
And so that led me like pretty straight to Greek mythology and
Okay.
learning about all the Greek goddesses. And then some historical figures that kind of modeled themselves off of the Greek goddesses. I got really into reading about Cleopatra. But in this whole process of kind of research, I started playing this game with myself where I was like looking for in my contemporary friends, like which qualities are they embodying from the different Greek goddesses? You know,
interesting.
The ones that represent the natural world, the ones that represent the negotiators, like the protectors.
Wild.
And so it was just super fun to be like, which one of my friends is like embodying these qualities? And so then I put together a song that kind of highlights that. And also was just trying to uplift like feminine wisdom, you know, because I think that sometimes we forget to listen. Sometimes we forget to listen.
I'm listening.
Thank you. I appreciate
So
that.
is Ladybug. Her
Yes.
ears just went up.
You're a very good listener.
There's a bright-eyed mountain mama breaking alpine trail, fields of wild flowers, the shadow of a red tail. Like Artemis, like Terra, she summits every ridge with courage. I know a canyon Cleopatra reaching forward with the oars, threading laughing water tossed by sandstone shore. How gracefully she goes around when obstacles arise. Wise. Oh, there's a goddess in the heart of every woman, every girl, polishing her knowledge like an oyster does a pearl. Every year that passes by, her wisdom only grows. Trust in what she knows. Ooh. Trust in what she knows. Well, there's a neon bright reflection on a cunning city queen. She'll lead you through the subway like Persephone, pull you through her underworld of cabarets and dens, then show you how to rise again. She'll show you how to rise again. And what about Athena with the owl on her arm? She's walking through the state house now like it was the Parthenon, deliberate and tempered, steady as she takes the floor. It's time to end the endless war. Time to end the endless war. There's a goddess in the heart of every woman, every girl, polishing her knowledge like an oyster does a pearl. And every year that passes by, her wisdom only grows. to trust in what she knows. It's time to trust in what she knows. Thank you.
Ladybug wishes she could put her paws together right now. She's clapping. You can see that in her face. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
So which Greek goddess are you most like?
Oh gosh, that's so
Gabrielle.
funny. I didn't think about that much. I was just like thinking about the world around me. I would have to put more thought into that. Yeah.
I was going to ask about
yeah.
Athena before you even started singing, and that was one that came up in your song.
Yeah, well,
And,
it's interesting because a lot of people know her as the goddess of war.
Right.
But she was known to be the counterpart to Ares, who was bloodthirsty,
Okay.
you know, and was like kind of maybe wanted conflict.
Okay.
And she was the really tempered, like her whole orientation was about how to end conflict quickly and
Okay.
concisely. You know, and so viewed more as like the protector and kind of like the deliberate, like when this is absolutely necessary, like here's how to get it over with.
Almost like the diplomat.
The diplomat. She was like
Right.
the consummate diplomat. Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
who was the most athletic?
Well, Tara, who I mentioned in the
Tara.
first verse,
Okay.
sorry, Artemis, who I mentioned in the first
Okay.
verse, she's like the protectress of the natural world. And so she was also a hunter, but she was like very, like always out in the wilderness and kind of like protector of the wild things.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that was such a beautiful song.
Thank you.
And yeah, so these things, so through the reading, that's definitely creates ideas, creates inspiration. These are inspirational songs because you're talking about like what's inside of us, right? Waiting to come out if
yeah.
we allow it to, right?
Yeah, potential.
Right.
And also like roadmaps for what we want to be, like which qualities we want to lean into. I think it's like good to identify that. Like as we identify our heroes, we can identify what we want to grow, where we want to grow, what direction, like where's the light that we want to grow toward.
Right. And I don't know if it's true for you like it is for me, but when I go out in the mountains, outside, externally, that's when I can really dive deep internally.
Totally.
And start to reveal like what's inside. Like my mom would always share, and I miss her for many years now. You've got everything inside you that you need.
Oh, I love that.
Which is one of the best mom kind of advice.
That's perfect.
Motherly advice.
I'm gonna think
ever.
about that mom advice.
But
you
that's what-
already have, like, you're a seed. Like, you already have everything in you.
Right.
That's great. I love that.
Do you find that to be true though? When you go outside, like in the mountains, you can
Yeah.
really dive internally. It's not just the external adventure and look at that, look at this outside, but do you find you go inwards? at those
100%.
times?
And
Yeah.
I think part of it is just getting quiet enough
Yeah.
to hear yourself. Like you're out there and there's so few distractions, there's
Right.
so few things demanding your attention. And all of a sudden, when you're not distracting yourself or entertaining yourself, it's like, wow, I've got this great inner dialogue
Right.
that is really enjoyable, Like,
Right.
oh, I like the voice in my head that's kind of playful or like creative,
Right.
So I think you're totally right that it's easier to hear it out there.
And I find I can crack myself up. Like I just start laughing sometimes. 'Cause
Totally, just
when
like
you do
giggling.
that quiet and you're away from the digital distraction and all that, you can kind of, hopefully lighten up, and a lot of different things will
Lighten
come
up,
out.
lighten
Maybe a little
up.
humor.
Yeah.
Maybe some life goals and things like that. And where do you see your life going? Like in the next, next several years? Just more so in the music and
Yeah, I mean,
sharing
I've definitely
music?
got a couple of records in me. That's a big question, but I think like the most principal answers are I've got a couple records in me that need to be made.
Right.
One with Ryan and one
Nice.
solo record that's kind of a collection of some jazzier songs that I've been writing. And I think also a deeper connection to our property. Like the last few years, we've traveled a lot and gotten a lot of cool opportunities, zigzagging around. And this summer, I'm just like enjoying putting in my garden and being like, yeah, I want to connect to this property more that I'm so fortunate to live at,
Right.
So,
right.
yeah.
That sounds cool. Well, we've got a song, Wild Church.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that one.
Do you want to tell us a little bit
yeah,
about that
it totally
one?
relates to what we were talking
It
about.
sounds like the outdoor cathedral to me.
Yeah.
Kind of like.
I mean, I don't really even need to introduce it after that conversation. That's pretty much the introduction. Yeah.
Sounds good.
This is kind of a slower, like, mantra kind of song. It just cycles around and...
Legs crisscross house in a stained glass meadow, breeze pulling on the purples and the yellows. I count petals, some count beads. Well, there's a velvet sheen on my rosary. Sandhill crane, sanguine sky, sunset fires edify. They catch upon the mirrored lake, where scattered stars congregate. Blood red moon, bone white evening. If you took one look, you'd start believing. Wild church, yeah, my wild church. Oh, my wild church, where there is no Bible, cottonwood leaves, clap revival. I'm still wild, I'm still free. Rough-hewn pew, bark on it, sink my feet in the cold, cold water. Sweet pine stirs the air. I close my eyes, dream a prayer to the pulsing hum of an ancient chorus. If you heard one note, you join us. Wild church, yeah, my wild church. Oh, my wild church, where there is no Bible, cottonwood leaves, clap revival. I'm still wild, I'm still free. Well, there are no walls and there is no temple. Backlit clouds open like a hymnal. All rise, here comes the sun. Pasture grass stands for the sermon. Well, it's a non-stop wheel and a non-stop cycle. Every day a new arrival. Wild church, yeah, my wild church. Oh, my wild church, where there is no Bible, cottonwood leaves, clap revival. I'm still wild, I'm still free. Well, there's a velvet sheen on my rosary.
I love that.
Thank
That
you.
just like such summarizes a lot of life for me. You know, I grew up Catholic. I was actually an altar boy. Had to show up at 6 a.m. mass for that. I was a little guy, so you learn a lot about ethic, work ethic, and discipline. And But you're inside of a church, and moving out to Colorado is like, wow, this is the outside cathedral of God. And that really has a lot of meaning for me.
Oh man, but I tell you, like, I know it burned, and that's just the travesty of the world. I think they are rebuilding it, but I walked into Notre Dame, and I was like,
oh wow,
maybe I'm religious too.
Wow.
Like you walk into those spaces,
that's powerful,
and you're just
super
like,
powerful.
yeah,
which doesn't demean any of those spaces. In fact, they're still great.
Opposite.
And energetic
and
so historic, beautiful. And there's so much energy and power.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure we have enough time for another song. But I wanted to ask you quickly, because you're wearing some of your earrings.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're also an artist with jewelry making and painting. I've got a couple of your lovely paintings. Can you tell us just a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's kind of like, I guess when I'm writing songs, like my language center is really on. And when I need my language center to be really off, and I need to just like meditate and tune out, then I love to make this jewelry. I learned how to do it when I was 12, with just a mentor that I still think so fondly of. And so, yeah, it's a way of like really relaxing. And so I actually sold them at the Aspen Market for one season a couple years ago, the earrings. And then I love watercolor painting. And I've been taking commissions for portraits of favorite musicians. So I've done this series of like 12 or 13 portraits of my influences, and then other people have said like, hey, my boyfriend loves Bob Dylan, like, will you paint a portrait of Bob Dylan for him? And I'm like, sure, because I love Bob Dylan too. So that takes up some of my time as well.
So you've done like Joni Mitchell and George Harrison and a lot of musicians, and we've got some of those images.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, Joni's a huge influence.
Inspiration for you.
Yeah.
So, Gabby, we're down to one more song, and
it
sounds like it's Porcelain Doll?
Yeah, I was mentioning that I'm playing this 1933 vintage guitar, and I was telling you that I've been writing a lot of songs that kind of sound like they come from the 40s, so I'll play one of those. This song's called Porcelain
A little
Doll.
Before your time. Just
a
couple years.
I don't know why. I have no idea why.
Just flashing back.
Yeah.
Hey, there was some great times.
Time traveling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
exactly.
you go.
Porcelain doll never ages at all. She waits in a case, blankly staring at space. Her dress never tatters. Porcelain doll takes no risk at all. If she plays, she could fall. If she falls, she will crack. If she cracks, she'll shatter. But then I saw old Granddaddy was growing old like vacation. He was drinking a whiskey and bacon with a cackle and a cane. Dapper ornery and gray, while my porcelain doll was having no fun at all. So I threw her away, 'cause the lines on my face were not made for erasing. I no longer feel small without my porcelain doll. I woke up to my life, to hell with being polite. Fears are for facing. That's when I saw Grandma Gabby. She was all hopped up in deviation. She was hot, pink hair and flirtation, a cackle and a cane, sassy, ornery and gray. Porcelain doll never ages at all. She waits in a case, blankly staring at space, neither living nor dying. But the years were not made for hiding.
It's so different and so fun.
It's different.
I mean, the
Yeah.
lyrics were great too.
Thanks.
And man, I wish we had more time. Where can people find out more, including your upcoming shows, which you've got several coming up here in
I've got
Colorado?
a few. Yeah.
Where's
Well,
the-
my website's a great spot, which is just my name.com, GabrielleLouise.com. But I keep my Instagram probably more updated than any of the other platforms.
Did you have fun on the show today?
Oh, so much fun. Thank you so much for having me.
This is such a treat.
Yeah.
To hang with you, and Ladybug almost went to sleep.
Ladybug's getting comfortable, I know.
She's
I don't know
like
if she's going to come home with me again.
She's found her special purpose.
Exactly. She's like, hey, I'm a big star now.
I am so grateful.
Oh,
I
thank
give you
you.
the long arm. Thanks to my tall parents.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gabrielle, Louise. What a treat. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Ladybug. And above all, thank you guys for watching our season premiere of The Local Show. At the Wheeler Opera House, we set the stage for connections that create memories for our audiences, artists, and greater Aspen community. At the Wheeler Opera House, all are welcome. You're welcome to be a part of history.
I'm so passionate about this community. I absolutely love living here and raising my family here. It gives me a lot of pride to share this with my friends and my clients and help them achieve their dreams of owning an Aspen snowmass and enjoying this incredible lifestyle.
Join the string beans in helping reduce food waste in our community.
Plan menus carefully and only buy what you need.
Collect unused scraps for compost.
Ask for smaller portions in restaurants.
Take home leftovers to eat later.
Donate unopened food to our food bank.
Let's work in concert to reduce food waste.
Welcome to the